Grand Rising, everybody, Grand Rising. Turn this angle so not everybody is in my business. Yeah, situation has been rectified. Yeah, you gotta, when you have issues with, you can't let everything slide. You gotta, you gotta talk to people about it. And a lot of times, you can start asking questions like, okay, what's really going on? What happened? So, yeah, it's been rectified and resolved. It's been rectified and resolved, absolutely. But I'm just letting y'all know, on how do you deal with some of these folks that be talking about law and order, law and order, law and order, and then 5 minutes later, it's something else. And most of the time, it don't be about you at all. It has nothing to do with you whatsoever. They have other issues. So you just get into the question mode. Hey, what's going on? And let them talk. You could even use terms in these so-called equitable environments. You use terms like equitable. You don't mention race. You mention equitable. They got all these little diversity terms and stuff. Use their own terms. Say, hey, that wasn't equitable what happened to me. You see? Oh, yeah. I shouldn't have done that. I should have did this a different way, or I should have did, and you do that. One thing I like about one of the vendors that I'm working with right now, remember I told y'all before, the account manager wants to have a one-on-one with me all the time. That's not necessary. This is it's long-term contracting. It's really, really not necessary. And I noticed there's a lot of brothers here that's contracting as well on long-term contracts. I met a project manager not too long ago. He was real cool. Brother from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? He was real cool. And he was basically asking about me, and and he wanted to know my background. He requested a paperwork check. So I told him, the history of some of my folks and stuff like that, and we start talking about tracing our history and everything. And he was like, well, I can't go beyond 1860 in Haiti and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I guess his wife was a freedman. You know what I'm saying? So, we just kind of just rocking out and stuff. He's like, yeah, I've been on this contract for a long time. Real good brother. Real good brother. Real good brother. And no, my vendor, I don't have to deal with that account manager no more. Now it's just, instead of putting in all these extra time sheets and things of that nature, I can just do one time sheet. Don't have to have a lot of conversation with what's going on. I like it that way. Let me just do my work. Click, click, click. Time. Done. And then when the contract ends, try to apply for something internal or whatever the case may be, or just keep on extending. So, it's all about it's really truly all about having understanding. Most of us, most black folks, when we go into these environments, we just want to get work. We don't want to get into all the other stuff like that. Like I told him, I said, I don't get into the politics and stuff. I'm just, let me just do my thing. Let me do my thing, And I could have also said like, hey, has anybody been mistreated? Well, that's me. And has this person received the most constructive help? So that's another thing. Have I received the most constructive help? I received some constructive help, but in that situation, I didn't feel like I received the most constructive help. So now that kind of put things in perspective where, they have to ask that question. Has anybody been mistreated? You see what I'm saying? Has anybody been mistreated in that situation? There's only one person that could have been mistreated in that situation. So, and like I say, I'm just looking for clarity. So, y'all know I record everything. So, you might get a sneak peek. An edited sneak peek. So, but other than that, I really hope y'all enjoying these adventures at DP, man. I've been having a ball. And some of the stories are funny. There's gonna be some stories that even get a little worse. Like there's gonna be some story, well, not worse, but there's gonna be some stories where, you know, you're like, okay, how did you get in that situation? Why were you doing that? Like, you know, but that's what was going on during the time. I'm also going to start getting more so into the music. What was the music going on around these times when I was, you know, doing my thing and hustling and, you know, just kind of getting my chops ready and putting in work in this game, in this IT game, and in this, you know, career, whatnot, whatever you want to call it. What was I listening to? I always make a reference: 8Ball, MJG, Kind of Blue, Miles Davis. Later on, I start getting into the Florence B. Price and stuff. What was the soundscape and the landscape of Minneapolis? I'm gonna do a story time on that. What was people listening to? We have a mixture up here, so you're gonna get some Tribe Called Quest, and you're gonna get some Slum Village, but then you're gonna get some Mixie Slick, and you're gonna get some, you know, we didn't have the ability to discriminate being from the Midwest. But the main landscape when it comes to like 97, 98, I mean, you had Mobb Deep, Hell on Earth, and you had Speed Not Mobsters and Adrenaline Rush. That was the landscape. I mean, All Eyes on Me, of course, but you had Speed Not Mobsters, Adrenaline Rush. That's what you was playing. And picture this. That's what you was playing 96, 97, 98. That's it. I mean, of course you had 8Ball and all that kind of stuff, and Tila and all that, but that was the lane. That was the lane when dudes was coming through with them Tahoes and them Bromes and them Chevys and stuff like that. That's all they really listened to. They weren't listening to. I mean, you know, you had the Tribe Called Quest. It was written. You had some people that was bumping that too, but you know, I'm talking about if you was riding fly, you had 8Ball, Double Disc, Lost, and you had Scarface, My Homies, and you had Speed Not Mobsters, Mobstability in 85 to 90% of the cars in the city of Minneapolis. And if I'm lying, y'all call me out in the comments. That was the musical landscape, the soundscape of this town. If you had a box Chevy, you had Mobstability in that car. You had Guerrilla Warfare in that car. You had Mystical Unpredictable in that car. Or if you were on the bus, you had that in your tape deck. Or you had Mobb Deep, Infamous, or Hell on Earth, or It Was Written in that tape deck. If you were a real music connoisseur, you're like me, when the smoke clears, you know, Mr. Don't Play, that was in your tape deck or CD player. If you had a tape deck and then you got to the point where you could, you know, get a CD player, that's what you were listening to. 100%. And then when you start messing with Napster and stuff, you messing with the underground 50 Cent, you know, stuff like that. The Psychodrama CDs were a little harder to come by because you had to get them from Chicago. So if you didn't have Napster or LimeWire during that time, and nobody had the tapes or the CDs from Chicago, you couldn't get it. You couldn't get it. So, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna keep doing these adventures. I'm gonna keep doing these digital journals as well. It'll pretty much be the same thing every day, you know. Deployment, no break fix, getting stuff out there. So I'll load this up in a minute. No need for me to really make no music or whatever. I'll just upload it, and you know, that I got a new Adventures of DP, a new story time that's gonna be coming today. You guys probably already seen it, and then there's I got some tech interviews coming up as well, so I'm gonna be interviewing some brothers from the tech industry, and then I probably got 2-3 more story times this week. I'm gonna try to knock out a couple more, but you know, and then I still got to do the remote analysis. So y'all probably got. I'm probably gonna have maybe another 10 to 15 videos within the next 2 weeks. So y'all just keep at it, you know, and we'll go from there.